What is up, everyone? It's Dan back here from another video, and in today's video I have basically created for you guys a guide on how to scale your business from the idea, from when you don't even know what you want to create, to having a billion-dollar exit. Now, who am I? My name is Daniel Makarov, and in this presentation, I will show you the exact formula that many successful founders, including myself and my businesses, are currently using to scale our companies to a $1 billion+ valuation / exit. This strategy I have spent years studying and applying, and I could tell you with certainty, if you apply this to your business and whatever software you're trying to create / sell, you will succeed 100% guaranteed. Like, this strategy allows you to literally scale any software company to millions of dollars at the very least, as long as you put in the effort and try. So in this video, I'm going to exactly show you how to create the $1 billion unicorn strategy to consistently scale and attract and convert clients at scale. What the new moat actually looks like in a world where AI can copy almost any product or service. How to build a company that's easy to exit and makes investors excited to back you and actually buy your company from you, and how you can actually apply this exact system to your own business. Now, a ton of new founders are winning big with this exact formula. We're now seeing both B2B and B2C startups hit millions in revenue with zero funding, zero VC support, and just a few weeks of development time. And in fact, when you look at the statistics, we've never seen this many bootstrap founders with zero funding and only one founder. It's crazy. The game of startups is changing completely now. Basically, we've entered the Gen Z era of startups. Now, obviously, I have to provide some proof. So here are some case studies of some pretty big companies that have been literally started with tiny teams, if not solo people teams, and who grew to millions of dollars a year in ARR. So this is the proof. This is the actual site where you could go check it out. But point being, these are, by the way, really new companies. And point being, it's possible. You can literally, if you spend a few short years with AI, you can make a few millions of dollars with your software. And this is basically what this blueprint is for you. Now, let me ask you this. If you're an entrepreneur, which obviously if you're watching this video, I know you are, and your first thought might be, look, this looks so simple, I could copy these ideas and make millions too. You'd be right, because everyone else is also thinking the same thing. So here's the real question. What do we do in a world where code is losing its value? Where AI keeps lowering the barrier, making it possible for anyone to clone or spin up almost any piece of software in minutes, where you can hire a freelancer overseas for $15 an hour with glowing reviews and get nearly anything built on demand for like Fiverr, for example. So how do we win in such an environment? Not just survive, but actually use this shift to our advantage. Because the reality is, this isn't something new. This actually happened before with Shopify. Let's think about e-commerce back in 2018 and before. Back then, building a store was hard, like an online shop. You also needed developers, you needed to spend a bunch of time and money. But with Shopify, you could spin up a store extremely easily, quickly, and just sell products directly from China. This new era of basically dropshippers was born, and people made billions of dollars from it through creating large, extremely profitable e-commerce brands. And basically, tech is right now going through the same shift. Not long ago, building a software required a bunch of money. You needed developers who were expensive, costly, slow, and advertising in of itself was also somewhat efficient because there was no tutorials or not as much information, resources, and case studies out there as there are now. So basically, everything was too expensive and too inefficient. But now, we don't have that. We have AI that can help us create products and let us only focus on marketing. Basically, the new game is marketing and distribution. What was once cost $100,000 a year to build can now be just done in a few weeks with a handful of AI tools. And it's not just faster, but you can actually create sophisticated tech, polished MVPs, and even advanced models without massive budgets or tech teams full of PhD students and scientists. The real edge today is how well you actually market and distribute what you've built. Master that, and you're basically playing an entirely different game. This brings me to the massive SaaS billion-dollar growth playbook. It's pretty big. So be sure to grab some popcorn and enjoy the show. Now, let's first start off with your product, your MVP. All right? Because this is obviously the most important step. Without a product, you can't go anywhere. So first start off with doing some market research. This includes copying competitors, studying competitors, a lot of market research by going on Google, X, and basically using ChatGPT, DeepSeek, Grok to your advantage to analyze trends, see what competitors are doing, and what you could literally do is just basically copy them. For example, you can use a Sensor Tower to actually go online and see how much apps are making. And you could use TikTok creator search insights to see what's trending online. To do this, all you have to do is go on TikTok and just type in literally on the search bar, creator search insights, and you'll see what's trending online. And boom, you'll see what people want, what people are searching for. And through Sensor Tower, you're going to find for free, by the way, apps that are making X amount of revenue to see if it's a profitable niche or not. Or maybe it doesn't even exist yet, and you're going to be the first one to build a vertical SaaS AI B2B or B2C company that makes billions of dollars a year. Now, after doing market research, right? That's the number one most important thing. Market research and then copying from a competitor and stealing their idea, and then you're about to make a bunch of money. You're going to want some sort of demand validation. This can include talking to customers, attempting to create some sort of viral content that can maybe push out this app that you're about to make or SaaS and get a lot of people to sign up, and then do some sort of cold email, cold DMs, cold calling. You could also create some ads like Facebook, Reddit, Instagram, Google ads for your software that you're about to build, and basically send it to a landing page and see how many people are interested or actually want this product. What you want is for people to basically beg you to create such a product and throw money at you. You don't want to beg for your customers. Now, once you have market research and demand validation, this comes the fun part, your product. Now, your product can either be some sort of vibe-coded software/app. It could be an agency or service. It could have a simple sales page if you still haven't created it or it's a little more complicated, or just some sort of pre-sale form /sign-up page. Sales page, for also a pre-sale or already created product. Now, if you want to actually, a few key tools I kind of want to tell you guys about is whenever you're doing some sort of mass email outreach, all right, you can feel free to use Instantly. I'm not sponsored by them, but they're a really good tool to quickly create a lot of emails for domains, warm them up in 2 to 3 weeks, and just start mass emailing people. And if you're going to vibe code a product, what I would recommend is this be your core tech stack, front end being Next.js, back end and authentication being Supabase, the IDE basically the actual software that you're going to use to code and where you're going to have your code base, it'd be Cursor, it's really good, and payments Stripe. Now, a few good LLMs to actually use that can help you in your development and research is DeepSeek if you need something for free. And for paid, I would just recommend sticking to the core 3, ChatGPT, Grok. Both of them are really good for research, and Claude is really, really good for development. All of these are paid, but I think subscriptions are $20 to $30 per month. Now, you have your product, you've done your market research, you've somewhat validated demand, all right? And again, you could for example, at any points in time, if you find that your product isn't that good, you could go back to step 1 and redo it. But let's say now you have your product, because this is all you really need to create a product. Let's now focus on the biggest part, marketing and distribution. Now, there are basically these, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 forms of marketing and distribution. Now, I'm going to kind of quickly go over this, nothing really in depth, but first of all is internet discovery. So traditional SEO and AI SEO. This is how you can optimize your search engine to make sure that whenever people Google or search up something on Google or ChatGPT, that your product actually goes like the first one there is the first one there. ASO, which stands for App Store Optimization. And you can even publish, and this is a little bit older, but on marketplaces. Basically, there are these AI directories that you go publish your app on, and whenever someone is searching for a tool, they can go on a AI directory, find your tool, and it's actually very good for SEO, because usually, a little bit about how it works marketplaces is because if you put your website on another reputable website, that's considered a backlink, and that's really, really nice for SEO, basically. But I am no SEO expert, but that's just kind of what I know. The next you have is affiliate marketing, where you offer 30 to 60% of sales. You can create some sort of community and have some sort of leaderboard that tracks everyone who does some sort of sales and offers some sort of prizes or incentives for those who get the most sales. For example, if you have a lot of people and a lot of affiliates, you're offering 50% of them. You could do something like, hey, whoever gets the most sales, I'll pay you an extra $5,000. Second place gets $3,000, and third place gets $1,000 extra on top of the actual amount of commission that they're making off sales. Now, word of mouth. This one is tricky. I typically don't see this happening too much. This happens with a few companies, but this is a lot more luck-based, word of mouth. So you really do have to have somewhat of a high-quality product like ChatGPT. You do have to have a community of people that you're actually sharing this product to and who are so in love with your product that they're going to go out and share it with other people. And you need referrals. Definitely the most important part of word of mouth. Now, would I recommend you to start off with word of mouth for your SaaS? Again, depends on your product. If it's really good and really revolutionary, yeah, sure, it could work. Would I focus on it too much? Probably not really, to be honest. But, these are methods, again, that you could apply that still can make your product millions of dollars. At the end of the day, look at ChatGPT. That thing was already basically word of mouth marketing, and it grew to literally over 1 million users within a few weeks. So there's a case study and there's an example of that. Same for affiliate marketing and same for internet discovery. SEO, though, does take a little longer. It could take a few months, but is extremely powerful. Do not underestimate SEO. I know people who made millions of dollars just by optimizing their website, and a few months later, they brought in so much traffic. It's crazy. Now, the next one I'll talk about is social media. We're talking IG, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, X, LinkedIn, Reddit, and Pinterest, and whatever other sites. And second one is paid ads. You can create TikTok ads, you can pay sponsors, you can pay Meta ads, you can pay Google ads. And with those, you can create so much types of content. You can create influencer content, again, sponsored posts, brand integration, subtle promotions. Like, for example, I know Cal AI, what they do is they'll have a fitness influencer go about their daily routine, and then they'll subtly show that they're using this calorie tracker app and in the TikToks, and then boom, everyone starts asking in the chat, oh, what AI app did he use there? And then people start answering, or the company will start answering, oh, Cal AI, Cal AI, Cal AI. And then reviews and how-to guides, like, for example, an unboxing of some sort of physical product if you're selling it, and then how to actually use it. Then you could create some sort of viral formats, viral content, and here are some formats for it. So before and after transformations, if you're some sort of selling maybe a beauty product or a beauty app, problem to solution stories, very good. Skit style videos, so funny videos using your application. For example, I knew one time there was this AI video generator, and what happened was it would generate funny animals saying bad news. So for example, you'll have a father text his daughter, oh, I cheated on your mom, but it would be of an animal that said that, oh, sorry, I cheated on your mom. It would be this little hamster. That went super viral online. It was insane. It was crazy. So definitely don't underestimate memes and jokes of videos and those with attention grabbing hooks. Next one would be educational content. So we're talking step-by-step tutorials, quick tips, side-by-side comparisons, and case studies and results to see, like, for example, I know for a lot of software like Instantly, right, there's a lot of videos out there that I don't want to say that they paid for, but I wouldn't be surprised if they're affiliated, like, monetarily, the YouTubers with Instantly, where they would review Instantly and the traditional way of sending emails, and Instantly was so much better. So that's also really good. Next is user-generated content, also known as UGC. Here you can make videos of customer testimonials, reaction/talking head videos, replying to comments, and challenge participations. Another type of content is authority and trust building. So, for example, making founder stories, behind the scenes, showcasing team culture, company updates, and, like, for example, I know a lot of companies, they'll have the founder, they'll create YouTube channels, kind of like what I'm doing, and just sharing updates and their life and just a lot of information about running a company and the product themselves. So this is extremely powerful, very slept under, because at the end of the day, if your company can build some sort of trust, like Instantly, the reason why I believe Instantly AI, that cold email sender, is so powerful is because a lot of people know, or maybe don't know, that, like, sending cold emails, creating a program like that could be very tricky. And if you mess up one single thing within the code, like, your emails that you spend hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on could get, like, banned from Google instantly. And so instantly, basically, Instantly AI, right, the cold email sender, right, because they have this brand of always working, a lot of people would rather you spend a little bit more money with their company than, say, another AI new tool that sends cold emails for cheaper, but is simply untested and is not safe for the thousands of dollars they spent in their domains. So very, very, very important. Now there's psychological/emotional videos and content. So FOMO, relatable stories, lifestyle inspiration, and bold/controversial opinions are all great examples and ideas that you guys can create. Design in visual formats, so infographics, memes, short animations, and carousels/slideshows. Basically funny videos that plug your product in. Those are awesome. I know a lot of softwares right now, they're using Google VO3, for example, to generate funny videos, like really stupid and funny videos, but like showcasing their product and having some sort of story built around it. And because of that, they're racking in tons and tons and tons and tons of views because it's a funny AI generated video. So definitely slept on, and I think this is going to get a lot more popular very soon. And paid ad formats, so search ads, lead magnets, retargeting campaigns, and discounts and promotions. Now, you could also do outreach, like cold emails, cold DMs, cold calling. I have found a lot of success in cold emails, so this is a really good area. I have friends who also do cold DMs and cold calling, and yeah, they work, honestly. One thing you do have to kind of think of outreach is when it comes to cold emails, cold DMs, and cold calling, right? You need volume. So a lot of the times, either people will use AI tools/products to do it for them, or B, hire out teams of VAs and train them, and then do the whole, like, cold emailing, cold calling, cold DMing. But I promise you, if you have a product that, like, I don't know, helps agencies get 10 more customers, right, through cold email, and then you cold email 1 million agencies saying, look, we'll help you get $100,000 in extra sales or your money back guaranteed, I guarantee you'll make a ton of money. So these methods, a lot of people like to crap on them. I think they work beautifully, and I have had extremely good experience with, like, cold emails. And a few other ways and ideas is just going to networking events, using referrals. I know we talked a little bit about this. White labeling, that's also something popular within software. Basically, if you have, like, a bunch of people signed up, you could kind of, like, start mass emailing all those people who signed up and being like, look, we see you use our software. How about you pay us $1,000 a month, and now you can have the software for your own brand label, and then you could sell it as it being your own software. This is like really, really good. I know there was once a massive wave of white laborers in the past, and getting some sort of grants, for example, government grants. I know government grants could be really overpowered, especially in North America, or from like university grants. If you're a student, they usually have like entrepreneurship departments that'll help you out, and they'll give you basically free money to go out and build your own thing as long as you're a representation of that university, so that they could later on use you to advertise that uni. So yeah, this is basically marketing and distribution in one large nutshell. Yeah, I'm just trying to think if there's anything else I gotta say. But yeah, basically these are all the methods, and the only methods you need to apply, understand, and actually execute upon your business. And I guarantee you will make tons of money. This is all laid out for you. You don't have to think of any other marketing and distribution methods. Just find something of these, okay, and stick to it and invest a lot of time and money into it. Okay, any of these, and I promise you, you will be successful. Now, what are we trying to actually do with this marketing and distribution? Basically, we're trying to learn stuff. We're trying to learn not only, like obviously we're trying to sell our product, but we're also trying to learn a lot about our marketing strategy, our videos that are being created, and basically what we're trying to do is see whether or not people actually engage with the content or advertising that we do, and how we can actually improve upon it. So with all of these methods, you should be taking into consideration basically, like, and it depends on obviously what type of marketing method you're using, but you should consider some of these terminologies to see whether or not your content is actually performing well. So for example, if you're creating videos, what you might consider to be good is CPM, cost per milli, views, and likes. Because at the end of the day, if your videos aren't getting any views, they're not getting any likes or engagement, it's a crap video, and you got to go back to the drawing board, that being this marketing and distribution, and find out, should I maybe make some other types of videos? Should I maybe do another marketing plan or distribution? Should I try something else? But basically, this data here that you learn from creating all these marketing and distribution plans will help you understand whether or not people are actually liking your product, and what you can do, and how you can do what you can do, and how you can actually improve the content, the marketing, to make even more money. Now, this is all the key terms you got to memorize, so make sure you take note of them. And again, I'm going to have a link to this Miro page in the description, so if you guys want to check it out, feel free to do so. Now, the next is going to be conversion and securing the clients. Now, let's say you created an ad or a TikTok and the people watched it, they loved it, your product was super, right? Now you actually have to convert the sale. So once a person clicks on your product's link, they're basically brought through your funnel. That could be your onboarding flow, that could be your app landing page, that could be your website, that could be your product page, and that brings you basically to your product/offer. Now, when you have your offer and product, you got to have 3 key points. First of all is a sales system. That could be sales videos, CTAs, and basically showing the value that that person will get for your product. The next is the trust around the service or product. That could be reviews, testimonials, and case studies. This is so important, especially if you're running some sort of agency, because without previous testimonials and reviews, it's very hard to find your first few clients. It's not impossible. I've done it myself, but like, you really have to build good trust with that person before that. But the good thing is once you have these reviews and testimonials, oh my God, people eat this up. People love this. Like, if people see that everyone else made millions of dollars because of your agency, why wouldn't they spend $20,000 on you? Why wouldn't? It literally wouldn't make any sense. And obviously the value that could be through a pricing page, a quiz page. So for example, I know Cal AI, what they do is when they're onboarding people onto their app, they have a massive questionnaire that people go through, interact with, learn about themselves, and see, this app is actually for me. And then you could also give them value by giving some sort of guarantees and refunds, kind of like what I talked about before in terms of, like, for example, let's say I'm an agency, all right, or I built some sort of SaaS product that helps agencies grow by $100,000 or add $100,000 in profit per month, or their money back if in 6 months it doesn't work. So there's a great guarantee / refund that people would really like and works a lot. Like, if you can give some sort of guaranteed, no questions asked refund, like, why wouldn't they? At the end of the day, they'd be like, okay, I'm gonna try it out. Worst case, I get my money. So after your offer / product, now the user basically has two options. Either A, they don't buy the product, or B, they actually buy the product. Now, if the person doesn't buy the product, there's a few things you could do. First is retargeting ads, more email marketing. So if they, for example, ignore your email, you could keep sending more emails until, like, for example, you could send a sequence of 3 follow-up emails if the person doesn't buy it, or more organic ads reposts. And with that, sometimes if the person doesn't buy the product, you might have to go back a few steps and actually do more market research, demand validation, and maybe improving upon your actual product. But let's say the user buys their product, then you can bring the user through some sort of user onboarding flow where there's a book a call or some sort of quick start guide material, which is awesome. And then this brings the user to your actual product / SaaS / app. And you basically bring them into your post-purchase funnel, where now you basically have to focus on user growth and increasing profit. So how do you actually get more customers, growing current marketing methods, and increasing retention? And then you're going to have to basically focus on actually increasing profit. That means bringing down churn, improving lifetime value growth, and making sure people stick with you longer, and upsells. Now, upsells of an app or a software is extremely overpowered because you can upsell with discounts. So, like, for example, if someone purchases, I don't know, like 100 credits for $10, you could sell them 200 credits after they purchase the first 100 credits for $8. So that's an upsell, and that's much more related to actually conversions and securing the clients. But still extremely overpowered, and I don't see enough companies do that, and it's like something on the table that a lot of companies should do. And this brings people to loyalty, where now, and this is something like you should kind of think about towards the end, but it's still so important, is making sure people actually like your brand. People can talk to you. People can talk to customer support should something go wrong. So you basically introduce like live chats, live calls, book a call, or even like feature requests. And after all of this, finally, now that you've actually created, we've gone through a lot in this video, so make sure check it out 2-3 times if you have to. We first started off with your product / MVP, right? We then, you first started off by doing lots of market research, demand validation, and then actually creating your product. Then, based on all this research, you took one or many of these methods and created very good marketing and distribution strategies and methods towards your product. Then, based on your videos or your advertisements or your word of mouth marketing or whatever, you learned a lot regarding whether or not people actually like your product or your ads or your sales funnel or whatever, and you applied it back into the marketing and actually created better infographics and advertisements and things like that. After you did that, you now focus on the actual funnel, that be your onboarding flow or your sales page or whatever, and you want to show customers that your app or your SaaS or your agency actually offers a lot of value. Now that you have that, people can either don't buy the product, to which you can retarget them and basically reconvince them to like buy your product, or they buy your product and now they have access to your actual application, all right, That's the onboarding flow side of it. And now with your application, you want to make sure, first of all, your users are happy. There's more users. They keep growing and your profits increase and you make user life a lot better. If you do all of this, all right, all of this, at the very end, you will be able to sell your company. I guarantee for a frick ton of money, all right? $1 billion, 100 million, 10 million, doesn't matter. You could sell it to private equity or venture capital. If you make $10 million a year, you could easily sell that for $100 million to a VC firm, and you're rich, and now you're happy, and you could fly private all around the world, and you'll have a great time. So that said, this was a very big video for me, and took a long time to make. So be sure to hit that subscribe button, like the video, share, comment, and I hope that this video really opens your eyes to how you can scale your company, how you can make a lot more money, and maybe even some sort of clarity, because I feel like a lot of founders also may not feel clear upon some things when creating a company. So thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, like, comment, and I will see you guys in the next one. Cheers.